morning everybody, and welcome to today's Pilates class. This is going to be an advanced class, but I'm going to show everything in the easy version and in the difficult version so you can decide which one you want to do. For those of you that have done Pilates before, it's very easy. You will understand the concept of the little gap underneath your back and you will simply continue with that. If you have not done Pilates before and you're unsure of what exactly we mean when we say the gap underneath your lower back, do not worry too much about it now. For you guys, you're going to simply press your lower back into the floor for safety reasons for now. Okay, so let's start with the hundreds. I want you guys to lay flat on your back, comfortable on your mat. Just a quick recap of the technique. Make sure to make a long neck with a soft double chin. Do not push your chin up to the ceiling. Get your shoulders down and away from your ears and think of pulling your clavicle bones open and your shoulders to the side so that you pull your shoulder blades down and flat onto the back. You want to close your rib cage, get a zip up, squeeze those abdominals and get the gap underneath your lower back if you are familiar with Pilates technique. If not, rather for safety, go and press your lower back into the floor for today. You want your feet hip width apart, pressing down into the floor and slightly pulling your feet towards your bum so that you activate the bum and the hamstrings. When we breathe, we're going to inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Now, for the hundreds, we're going to go into a curl up. So keep the soft double chin and let your chest bone slide over to your rib cage and the rib cage slide towards your hip bones. For beginners or unfamiliar with Pilates, rather scoop and put your lower back into the floor. But if you are familiar, get the gap and hold it. Now, for beginners, you can take your legs up one by one, keeping the hips absolutely still, up to 90 degrees, and squeeze your knees and ankles against each other. Lift your arms up about hip width, keep the fingers closed, and now we're going to pump for hundreds, keeping the shoulders open, keeping those abdominals tight. If you want to make it more difficult, you can take your legs up directly to the ceiling if your hamstrings are flexible enough. You can also squeeze your bum tightly and go into a turn out, still squeezing that inner thighs. If you want to make it even more difficult, you can lower those legs as low as you can without touching the floor. Find the angle that works for you. Otherwise, keep them bent. And we need to breathe. Inhale for approximately 5. Exhale for approximately 5. And continue. You guys need to focus on your abdominals. Make sure you're feeling that and not necessarily your legs or your neck. Let's do a couple more. And pause. Put down the hands. Take the legs down one by one and roll back down. Take the arms up. Keep the shoulders into the floor. Float the arms up in line with your eyes. Now inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to roll up slow motion. Don't use momentum until we can sit up onto our bottom bones. With control, extend your legs out, still hip width apart. Keep those abdominals tight. Get the feeling of something pulling you into your lower back as you stretch over and try to reach past your toes. Now, you don't want to go down and touch the toes. Try to stay parallel with the floor. Come back up. Think of pushing the weight through your heel away from your body. Squeeze your abdominals. Scoop. Squeeze the bum and roll back down. Putting down one vertebra at a time onto the floor, anchor the shoulders and reach with the arms past the ears. Let's do that again. Going up with the arms, inhale. Keep the rib cage closed and on the exhale we go up with no momentum. Squeeze the bum, squeeze the tummy and reach past your toes if you can. We're going to do another one. Scoop and down. Make sure you lower one vertebra at a time. Anchor in the shoulders. And and reach past the ears. Do not let the shoulders go up towards the ears, and you only go as far as you can go. If you do that, you're cheating. Keep it stabilized. Arms back up, zero momentum, slowly up. You want to think of stretching your lower spine rather than your legs. And up. Now we're going to go into a roll over to the back. So you can put your hands for support on the floor, or you can keep them on the side here and not necessarily put weight on them. Get your legs, squeeze them together. Now we're going to go into a roll down. As you get at approximately 45 degrees, you want to lift those legs up, and then you want to go over and reach past your head. Now open your legs about double shoulder width apart, flex your feet, and slowly put your lower back down again. The moment your bum connects with the floor, legs at approximately 45 degrees, point the toes, close the legs. Let's go up and over again. Open, flex, and back down. Approximately 45 degrees, point the toes, close the legs. Up and over again. Open, flex. Think of having a long spine. Don't squash your abdominals. Keeping the shoulders anchored into the floor. Remember, you can put your hands down for a little bit of extra support, or you can make this easier by, when you come into the 45 degrees, bend your knees and then come over again. Slowly lower, bend your knees and up and over again, or keep them straight. You can even go lower than 45 degrees if you can. Let's do just one more. And up and over. And now we're going to come down with what we call a teaser. So I want you to keep your legs together. Slowly lower your spine. When your legs are about 90 degrees up, let's reach up with those arms. And now we're going to pendulum. So as you come up with your upper body, you're going to lower the legs until you're up. Let's see if you guys can do that. And then lower the legs. Go down, grab a hold where you can and stretch down. And hold it there and breathe. And relax. Slowly back up. We're going to do a roll down again, but we're going to stop on a curl up position, holding it there, squeezing those abdominals, legs up to 90 degrees. Let's go into the single leg stretch. So the one leg is going to straighten out and you're going to hold on to the one leg. Try to keep it at 90 degrees. Don't necessarily bring it in towards you. That leg wants to go out at 45 degrees, but you can take it lower if you want to. And then we're going to swap and swap. Now we go inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Remember, you can do it 45 degrees, or you can even go up to the ceiling if you have to. But if you can, try to reach to the floor, but don't touch the floor. Now for the double leg stretch. Legs together, squeezing the knees and the inner thighs. From here you want to push your legs out 45 degrees, keeping them together, while your arms are going to come up to your shoulders, but then you're going to make a big circle with the arms, bend the knee, and connect again. Inhale, exhale, and connect. Inhale, exhale, and connect. If it's too difficult, you can simply leave the legs and just do the arm bit. Otherwise, you can make it even more difficult by lowering the legs even lower before bringing them back up again. Woo! I hope you guys are feeling this. Let's do one more and up. Now I want you to take a hold behind your knees and slowly roll up using your abdominals and your arm muscles. Lengthen those legs and into a spine stretch. and up. Grab a hold of one leg, and now pick up that leg as you roll back down. Hold that leg in the air with the hands gripped behind it. If you can, your aim is to lengthen that leg and feel the stretch in the hamstring, but if you can't, having it slightly bent is fine. Still keeping your abdominals nice and tight with the shoulders open. Now lift that bottom leg just slightly off the floor, and now we're going to swap them. So you're going to bounce, bounce, swap, bounce, bounce. And exhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale, inhale. Shoo, shoo. Shoo, shoo. Shoo, shoo. Shoo, shoo. Elbows nice and open. Remember, you can bend this top leg if you feel it's necessary. Otherwise, try to keep them straight and with a slight turn out so that you work the inner thigh and not necessarily the quad. And get them together on top. Again, if you have to, slightly bend the knees. Otherwise, try to lengthen out of the hips. Feel the stretch at the back. For safety, keep your lower back into the floor if you have to. Otherwise, if you can, get that natural Pilates gap underneath. Now we're going to go into the double straight leg. Hands behind your back or behind your head to support your head. Make sure you keep the elbows open and the shoulders away from the ears. Squeeze your bum, get it turned out, squeeze the inner thigh. Now your legs are simply going to lower and back up. Inhale, exhale. You can keep them bent if you have to make it a little bit easier. Otherwise, you can go even lower and back up. All the way down and back up. Or just where you feel comfortable, or keep them slightly bent. Make sure to work in your abdominals, especially your lower abdominals. Let's do a last one. Good. From here we're going to go into the crisscross. So your legs will basically do a single leg stretch, but with your upper body you're going to twist and swap. But before we do this, make sure your aim is not to bring the elbow to the knee, because then we're crunching, which we don't want. Rather think of taking this elbow away and lengthening rather than crunching. As you can see the difference. Here we go. So lengthen and swap. And lengthen and swap. Take your legs as low as you can go. And reach away with those elbows. Your abdominals should be burning. Well done, you guys. And reach and swap and reach and swap and pause. Grab a hold behind the knees. Use your abdominals and your arms. Slowly roll up, put down. Lengthen those legs out and reach down, grab a hold and stretch. Nice. I just need to get a quick sip of water. If you guys also need to, join me. Okay guys, let me just quickly double check here. Okay, we are going to do open leg rocker. So what I want you guys to do is go to the bottom of your mat, to the edge, so that you've got enough space all the way that way. You're going to balance on your tailbone with your feet slightly lifted off the floor. Now, for the open leg rocker, I want you guys to grab a hold at the back of your ankles or your calves. From there, you want to keep your balance on your tailbone. Don't tip over yet. And now lengthen those legs up as high as you can. Your aim again is to get those legs straight. So you're going to feel a stretch in those hamstrings. If you cannot get there all the way, it's fine if you keep them slightly bent or if you hold behind the knee. Either which one is fine. So your aim is to lengthen them up keeping the shoulders open, squeezing those abdominals, zip up. And from here, with control, zero momentum, you're going to squeeze your glutes till you feel you're falling over, keeping the abdominals tight, balance, and then squeeze the abdominals, woo, to come back up again. There we go. And up again. I hope you guys got it easier than I did. So, when you do this, make sure not to pull your shoulders up to your ears. So, from here, squeeze the glutes to roll back down. Balance without necessarily putting your head down. And then squeeze your abdominals, woo, to come back up again. Don't use momentum like I did. So, squeeze the glutes to roll back down. Squeeze the abdominals to come back up. There we go, that one I got. So remember, you can do it there if you have to. Squeezing the glutes to roll back down and the abdominals to come back up. Or hold a bit higher. Squeezing down on an inhale and exhale up. Let's do 2 more. Inhale down. Remember, use control, zero momentum, and back up. Now, if you want to, you can make one fun. Try to close your legs. Keep them together. Let's go again. Rolling down, and all the way up again. And then eventually, you want to actually hold on to your toes, which I cannot do. But let's try this. Let's see how far you guys can get. And roll back down. And roll back up. Woo! Almost there. I'm going to need a little bit more work. Now, still balancing on your tailbone. Bend your knees. Put down your feet. Move your hands to the back. Lift your bum up. Scoot back. And then just stretch down and relax for a bit. And back up. So now I want you to put your legs in the corners of your mat. Flex your feet, so pull your toes up towards you. And from here, I want you guys to sit as tall as you possibly can. So in other words, don't rest on your tailbone there. Think of sitting tall on your bottom bones and opening your arms to the side. I'm just quickly going to turn so that you guys can see me from the front. You're basically going to be in this position. Okay. Now, if you really have extremely tight hamstrings, you might struggle to get into this position, and then you're going to overwork in your quads and your hip flexors to get there, which we don't want. If that is the case for you, rather bend your legs slightly and open them up like this, in order to deactivate the quads and the hip flexors so that you can focus on your thoracic spine where we're going to work now. But otherwise, if you are able, try to straighten them out and use your abdominals to sit tall. Shoulders low, think of the clavicle smile. And now from here, we're going to twist with the upper body as far as you can go and take the opposite arm and try to reach past your pinky toe. Come back up, inhale. Twist to the other side, exhale, and reach past your pinky toe. Up again, inhale. Exhale, keep the abdominals tight and stretch over them. Carry on. If you've got your legs bent like this, just reach to the opposite corner of your mat. And up. Exhale as you reach down. Carry on. Think of your thoracic spine, in other words, your upper back, working between your shoulder blades and your lower shoulder blade muscles working for this. You can even feel your arms. One more on each side. Remember, with Pilates, we're working the stabilizer muscles and not necessarily the worker muscles, the mobilizer muscles. Close your legs and stretch down and relax for a bit. And slowly up. Now from from here we're going to go into the Sidekick series. But we're going to make it interesting and we're going to kick it off with the kneeled Sidekick series, which is a little bit more difficult. I hope you guys are feeling this. Okay, so for the kneeled Sidekick series, again, remember what I said with Pilates, we are working the stabilizer muscles. We don't want to focus on the mobilizer muscles. In other words, for what we're going to do now, I'm going to start on my left leg at the bottom. In other words, if you're mirroring me, it's your right leg. Technically speaking, you want to feel this bottom leg's stabilizer muscles kick in even more than you actually need to feel the top leg's muscles. Okay, so you can put your hand at an angle that is most comfortable for you. Do not overextend in your elbow. Keep the elbow soft, shoulder away from the ear, and you want to be there. Try to get your knee underneath your hip as much as possible. If you feel this is too difficult, you can go down onto the elbow and the bum and then do all the exercises there. Otherwise, try to pick it up and challenge yourself. When you're in this position, be careful that your hips don't fall forward. Try to get yourself to be parallel with the floor. Now, we're going to work this mobilizer muscle in this bum and the stabilizers in this bum. Just standing here, I can already feel the bottom glute kicking in. You can have your hands on your hip, or you can have it behind your head, or up there. If you do put the hand behind your head, make sure you've got the elbow nice and open, shoulder away from the ear. So, using this bum, we're going to go up and down for 5. 1, pick it up as high as you can. 2, keeping this bit still, working out of the hip. 3, 4, tummy tight, chest lifted. 5. Now we're going to do small circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the other way around. 1, woo, 2, I can feel this bum. 3, 4, 5. Stay there, or remember, you can modify this and do it there. Now we're going to go front and back. Forward and back. 2, squeeze the bum as you pull it back. 3, abdominals tight. 4 and 5. Remember, you can do this lying flat or up there if you need to. The next one we're going to do is the hot potato. So you're going to think of tapping in front of your mat for 2, then kick up as high as you can and tap at the back. Here we go. And 1, up at the back. 2, up at the back. Work the bum. 3, tummy tight. Woo! 4, I hope you guys are feeling this. And 5, woo! Yes, bring that leg in and sit down. Now, I hope you guys felt this bottom bum more than you felt the top bum. And now comes the challenge. We need to do the other side. And usually, the second side we do feels a little bit more difficult because the glutes have already been working, so they're already a little bit tired. Okay, so over to the other side. Again, remember, you can do this the easy version. On the elbow, down on the bum, then work in the leg, or pick it up. Put your hand in a comfortable position. Try to get your knee underneath your hip as much as possible. The other top hand you can put anywhere that suits you best. Up and downs for 5. Here we go. 1. Woo! Now I can feel this. 2. Keep this bit still. 3. Work out of the hip, not out of the obliques. 4. Pick it up as high as you can. And 5. Let's go for circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we go forward and backwards, forward and back. 2, squeeze the bum. 3, keep the balance. 4, remember to breathe. And 5. Now we're going to go into the hot potato. Remember, you can put this down if you have to. For the hot potato, tap to the front, kick up, to the back, and up. 1, up, to the back. Keep this bit still. 2, work from your hip and your bum. 3, woo! 4, I hope you guys feel the burn. And 5. Well done, you guys. And back up. Okay, we're quickly going to do a glute stretch before we carry on. So you can comfortably sit like this. Take the top leg that was just on top, bring it over, opposite arm, sit as tall as you can, and stretch the bum. Now remember, you've got a whole bunch of different glute muscles that's got different functions. So stretching your glutes in different angles will stretch the different muscles. This is just one of the many stretches that there are. We're just doing a quick stretch for the glutes to relax. Let's swap. Over to the other side. Opposite arm, pull the knee up. Feel the stretch, sit tall. You can even twist across a little bit if it helps to intensify the stretch, and hold it there. Now the second glute stretch I quickly want to do with you guys, it's going to look almost like an inner thigh stretch. But if you've got your angle perfect, you're going to feel it in the hips and the glutes rather than in the inner thighs. So it's like when we do this butterfly stretch, having the feet together, knees open for the inner thigh stretch. But if you move the feet away from you and you go down, you'll feel, maybe you still feel it in the inner thigh, moving the feet away even more. Maybe you're still feeling it in the inner thigh, moving it away even more. Stretching down, and then at one point you're going to reach that angle where you feel, but I don't get it in the inner thighs, I rather feel it on the outside into the hip and the glutes. That's the angle I want you guys to get now. So pushing the feet away, you need to measure where you find the angle that's perfect for you to actually go into a glute stretch and not into the inner thigh stretch. And then hold it there and breathe. Well done, you guys. As you'll notice, we're not doing absolutely every move from the Pilates Advanced syllabus. We're picking and choosing just a bunch of them just so that we get a good workout for the day. And slowly back up out of the stretch. Get a sip of water if you need to, and then we move on to the next one. Guys, the next one we're going to do, we're going to turn onto our tummy. So, you can turn around, get comfortable lying flat on your tummy. From here I want you guys to get your hands, your wrist approximately underneath your shoulder, and then maybe a little bit further, where it's most comfortable for you. I just don't want the hands to be there at the front or too way back. So reach the point where you feel you can actually put your elbow down and still hold your shoulder far from your ear, and then you're going to get the feeling of pulling yourself up. Don't think of arching in your back to go to the back. Think of pulling, almost pulling the mat like this, but the mat shouldn't move, and reaching with your upper body out from your hips. So you want to pull and reach away from your hips as much as you can. Now I want you guys to squeeze your bum, pulling your legs together. From here, we're going to look to the one side as much as possible, but don't let the other shoulder drop down. So hold the chest open and level, then look to the one side. Now we're going to do a neck stretch as we roll down all the way over to the other side. Don't let the shoulder drop, keep it open. Roll all the way back, stretching that neck, and now softly put down and relax for a bit. Let's do that again. So pull the floor, pull your upper body away from your hips, and don't think of arching in your back, think of pulling out of the hips, and then squeezing your abdominals as if you want to still lift your abdominals off the floor. Now we're going to look to the other side first, keeping the shoulders open, going down into a neck stretch, roll it, and reverse it. And softly put down again. Let's repeat. And we're pulling it up. Remember, squeeze the abdominals away from the floor. Shoulders open, long neck, soft double chin. You should feel this in your bum, your abdominals, and your shoulder blades, and even your arms. And then stretch the neck. Inhale and exhale. Let's go down. We're going to do one more. And let's pull the floor out of your hips. Suck your belly button away from the floor. Chest open. Look and roll. Exhale as you roll. Stretch your neck and reverse it. Now bring your fists together and pop your elbows out to the side. So you can either have your arms completely straight or you can have them at a slight triangle shape. From here, still same principles apply. Shoulders away. Think of reaching out of your hips, squeezing your abdominals to get that belly button away from the floor, squeezing the glutes, and now we're going to do single leg kicks. So you're going to kick your bum and then swap over to the other leg. Kick and swap. But the magic with this thing is it's not about the hamstring activating to kick the bum. It's about reaching your quad away from your hip to almost feel a quad stretch. Kick, swap, kick, swap. So as you bring the heel up to the bum, think of this part of your leg stretching away from your knee all the way to the other side, and think of almost picking your knee slightly up. So you get a quad stretch as you activate the hamstring there. And then when you do the kick, quickly have a look at my body. Don't let the effects of the kick make you bounce. You need to stabilize on top and keep your upper body 100% still while you kick the bum and swap. Kick the bum and swap. Inhale. Inhale. And work the hamstring. Stretch the quad. Squeeze the bum. Chest open, shoulders open. Feel this in your thoracic spine, your arms, your shoulders, your hamstrings, your glutes, your abdominals, and then feel the stretch in the quad. Let's do one more each side. And down. Open the arms, out with the elbows, slowly lower. Now put your arms or your hands next to your chest. Let's push up and back and go into a stretch. And relax it there. And breathe. and slowly up onto all fours. Tuck your toes in behind you. Now, I'm quickly going to show you guys the jump through. For beginners, we're going to make it a walk through, which I will show first, and then otherwise you can start practicing to do the jump through. So from your all four position, tuck your toes in, lift your bum up. You can almost go into a cold stretch. Now, the easy version or the safer version is to bend your knees, keep your tummy tight, and walk with your feet towards your hands until you reach the point where you can softly go sit and then take the legs out to the front. Otherwise, if you want to practice this, you want to go into your jump through. So from your all fours, push up, and then you're going to jump with your legs through and go into the sitting position. The more you practice this, eventually you'll be able to jump through in a smooth motion and immediately land on your bum without even touching the floor with your feet. Okay, you guys, the last advanced difficult move we're going to do. Let's just quickly get a sip of water. We're going to start with the last move. It's quite a difficult move that's got a lot of bits we want to do. So I'm first going to show it to you guys and then break it down. From here, you're going to go into a rollover. Swap the legs into a teaser. Arms to the back, legs down, stretch over, reach, repeat. Okay, there's the move I wanted to do. So, your legs are crossed, you're sitting tall. From here, you're going to go into a rollover, basically the move we did in the beginning. You can either have your hands flat on the floor for support, or just hold them there without necessarily pressing onto the floor. You're going to roll back, pick up those crossed legs, and reach up and over all the way. Still thinking of a long spine, don't necessarily squash it in. When you're in that position, swap your legs. Try to keep the shoulders down. Roll back down with your spine without lifting the shoulders. And when your bum touches the floor, come up with your upper body. This is called a teaser. Now hold the legs there. Take your arms to the back. Hold on and stretch. Put the legs down. Reach with your head to your knees. Lift your arms up as far as you can. If you're not very flexible, your arms will probably just stay there. Now softly let go of the hands and reach towards your toes. Come back up. So as you can see, it's quite a long move, but it's a fun move to do. So the legs are crossed. We're going to go into a roll back, then a roll over. Let your lower abdominals pick up those legs. Reach up and over, crisscross, slowly back down. Keeping the shoulders into the floor, going up into teaser. Arms to the back, stretch, feet down. Reach over, all the way around, and back up. Let's do one more. I hope you guys are getting this at home. Roll back down and the legs go up and over, keeping the length. Swap, slowly back down, into teaser, back with the hands, down with the legs, stretch over and reach. Slowly come back up. Just get the legs comfortable next to each other, and then we're just quickly going to stretch down and hold it there. And breathe. Slowly come up. Now swap your legs in underneath you so that you go and sit on your knees. Take your one hand to the back, and we want to lift the pelvis up so that we can go into a good abdominal stretch. And hold it there. It might be possible that you can even feel it here in your quad and your hip flexor. That's perfectly fine. Slowly back down. And let's just stretch the other side as well. Going up and over. Hold it there. And slowly down. You can just hop off your feet so that you get your legs out underneath you. And now we're going to go into an inner thigh stretch. So feet together, bring them as close as you possibly can with your knees open, and try to sit tall. Don't slouch down onto your tailbone. Now, you can either hold onto your ankles, or you can press your knees down, or you can put your hands at the back and push yourself up to intensify the stretch. Any which one which works for you is perfectly fine. And hold it there and breathe. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Now take the legs slightly forward, opening it up a bit, and then stretch down as far as you can go. For now, we still want to feel the stretch in the inner thigh, not necessarily in the glutes yet. So stretch down as far as you can go and hold it there. Try to get the knees as low as possible. Remember to give your muscles oxygen, so breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Nice deep breaths. Fill those lungs with the oxygen. Slowly come back up. Now, take the legs further to that angle you found before, where you actually go into a hip and glute stretch rather than an inner thigh stretch, and then go down at that angle and hold it. Slowly back up. From this position, you guys can simply open your legs wide as you can go. Now at first, I want you guys to have a slight turn out, meaning your heel face inwards and your toes face outward. Your feet can just be relaxed, but have those legs open as wide as you can. Again, sit tall and then reach down forward just as far as you can go. If you can hardly get down, that's fine as well. But then you know this is an area that you can do some extra stretching just to loosen up those muscles. Now, keeping your upper body low, slightly move over to the one leg, still keeping the legs or the feet in an outside turn or a turn out position. Don't let that opposite leg fall inwards. Keep it open. Now for this, you can either feel the stretch in your calf, in your hamstring, in your inner thigh, or you can even feel it going into your back muscles or your obliques there. Either which one is perfectly fine. You will feel it there where you need it. Keeping the upper body low, slowly go over all the way to the other side. Still keeping that foot in a turned out position and stretch down as low as you can go. Again, you can feel it in the calf, the hamstring, the inner thigh. You can feel it behind the knee even, or you can feel it going into your back or oblique, just depending on where you need it. You'll feel it. Keeping the upper body low, let's go over to the middle again. Now, staying in the middle as low as you can, I want you guys to turn your feet so that your toes face up to the ceiling and you're slightly flexing them. So you're pulling the toe towards you as if you're trying to push the heel out and away. So don't just simply relax the foot. Go into a deliberate additional stretch by pulling the toes up. And now, if you've got your hands on the floor because you're not as flexible, that's fine. Otherwise, if you can go all the way to your elbows, that's perfect as well. What I want you guys to do is to slightly bounce in that position without letting the toes relax with each bounce. So keep the toes flexed up, legs open as wide as you can, and you're bouncing as if you want to go a little bit lower with each bounce, and make sure that you're breathing. If you're on your hands and you absorb the bounce a little bit in your elbows, that's perfectly fine, as long as you feel the stretch in your legs. Again, you can feel this in the hamstring, the calf muscle, the inner thigh. Hell, you can even feel this in your glutes. You can feel it in your back. It's a very, very good stretch. You can feel it in the Achilles there at the bottom, at the ankle as well. And hold it there. Now, while in this position, holding it as low as you can, I want you guys to point your toes and flex it up. Point and flex. So you take the toes down as low as you can go and as high as you can go. Point and flex. Point and flex. Let's do 2 more. Point and flex. And last one. Point and flex. Slowly come back up. Inhale deep. And on the exhale, wiggle your legs and close it back up. Good. Let's go into a quad stretch. So I want you guys to sit comfortably on the one glute. Take this foot, pull the foot to the back towards the bum, and get the feeling of pulling the knee away. But it's very important that you keep your abdominals and your glutes activated while you're stretching the quad. And try for now to keep the knee the same height as the hip. Don't necessarily just drop it down. Pick it up, pull, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the abdominals, hold it. If you want to, just by looking away, can even intensify the stretch. And remember to breathe. Now you guys can put the knee down softly, and if it's comfortable for you, try to twist away with your upper body, bringing that leg and glute towards the ceiling, and hold. Slowly twist back to the front, relax, and let's do the other side. Pull the foot towards the bum, lifting the knee, keeping the knee the same height as the hip, and stretching the quads while squeezing the glute and the abdominals. Breathe, and let's hold it there. Now softly put down the knee, and if it's comfortable for you, twist your upper body away, and it might intensify the stretch. It just depends at what angle your quads are really tightened up due to the different workouts that you do. Slowly turn back to the front and relax. Okay, you guys, now I want you to go sit at the edge of your mat, facing towards the length of the mat. Bring your feet in as close as you can, and from here we're going to attempt to stand up without using our hands. So I want you guys to bring your feet in towards your bum as close as you can, and then open your knees up and pushing your upper body forward in between your legs. So basically from the front, it's going to look like this. Okay, you need quite a lot of flexibility in your ankles and your feet and in your hips in order to get into this position. So if you cannot do it, don't stress about it. It's just a nice thing to practice when you have time. So bringing the feet close, opening up the knees, pushing your body forward, having the hands to the front. I want you guys to attempt to go onto your haunches without using your hands. Now, if that is completely impossible, it's fine. Use the hands, push yourself up so that you can sit there in a comfortable position. Otherwise, from there, just go up. Now keep the balance, you're basically on your toes, and from there, stand up. Without using your hands, inhale, and now I want you to roll down with your upper body, reaching for the floor, keeping your feet flat on the floor, legs completely straight, bum up in the air, and you reach to the floor. If you only get to there, that's perfectly fine. But reach as low as you can go and breathe. From there, I want you guys to walk forward, keeping those legs straight. But if you couldn't touch the floor, it's fine if you need to bend a little bit. Walk it out to the front. And I want you guys to go into a plank position and then put your legs and pelvis down, relax the feet, and go into an abdominal stretch. Hold it there, chest open. Think again of reaching out of your hips. Don't necessarily think of crunching back in your spine. Pick up the bum. Go into your resting position. Now keep the bum connected to your heels and slowly roll up. One vertebra at a time. Your head is the last thing to come up. Inhale up. Exhale down. And then we are done for today. You guys were awesome. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you felt it. And we see you guys at the next class. Thank you. Bye.